talk about a few things that I did that helped me. And the biggest thing, obviously, is Kelly Rocks. I thought, I needed something to do because I was used to 29 years of going to work Monday to Friday, and all of a sudden I didn't have that. And I'm like, my brain fog was bad and, I was depressed and I'm like, what can I do? Like, what can I do? What can I do to help other people? What can I do to give back? That was my mission at that point.
That's why I love you so much.
And you're like that too. And I knew that from the very moment I met you, Joan. So that's how we clicked. But I started this Kelly Rocks. Well, it was Mick's idea because he's a musician and I always say Mick rocks, right? So he said, Kelly Rocks. So I started doing these rock art pictures. And one of my favorite things to do is go to the beach.
I know. And we hear that too.
I know.
Honey, we're going to go to your favorite beaches and pick rocks.
I know. I can't wait.
It takes a special kind of something to find beauty in all those rocks. But it's going to be so fun.
So I started doing pictures like this. Like this. I've got a couple examples and I put little inspirational sayings on them. This says, never stop looking up. And in the back, I would put breast cancer ribbon and a little bit of my story. And I just give you a couple examples of them. So this one says, I think it says, make your dreams come true. Then this is my favorite. And I just have to show you this, Joan. This is, I'm never going to sell this one because this is the very first one I did. And this is time is precious with a family and time is precious. So what I did, Joan, is I started making these and I made about 10 different designs. And I thought, Mick said, Kelly, put them on Facebook. I put them on Facebook and my Facebook exploded. Literally.
Well,
I had how many did I have now? Let me think. Honestly, I had over 200 orders and I'm not like 200. And I'm like,
I remember having that conversation in the pool because you were like,
how can I do this?
Limited edition, baby. Limited editions.
I'm freaking out. Like I did this for therapy. And all of a sudden, all my friends want them. And I'm like, oh gosh, what have I done? So of course, you know me. I just said no more. Cut it off at 200. Well, I started making 200 rock art pictures and create. Sorry, Joan.
It's okay. You have a sleeve.
Okay. Sorry. I got my little
keep it real, honey. Keep it real.
See? In pink for the cure. I'm wearing that.
And I put the pink earrings I have on, and I put pink lips on today for you.
I can't wait for the makeup. That's a whole other story. Anyway, so I was busy making 200 pictures. Well, and the reason I did them is I donated money back to the BC Cancer.
Right.
So that made me feel good. And so when COVID hit, so then I needed a break. I was like, whoa, this is like not therapy anymore.
Overwhelming.
It's overwhelming.
Work.
So then I took a break. Well, COVID hit in March and I thought, okay, Kelly, time to do this again. So, but not so crazy this time. I made like 20 pictures or something. And I said, this is it. I posted that on Facebook. And of course I have a Facebook page now called Kelly Rocks. Yeah. And I posted them and I said, this is it. I've got 20 pictures. I'm donating the money to the BC Cancer COVID Relief Fund. I made $800 and the BC COVID Relief Fund. And then I was kind of tired of those. So I started painting rocks.
I love those. Those were my summer COVID favorites.
So then I started painting rocks because I never realized I loved painting so much. And anyways, I started painting these rocks, but instead of selling them, I just gave them away. I would post them online and I would say, if any of these rocks mean anything to anybody, then let me know and I will deliver them to you. If you're in Victoria or the vicinity.
Right.
And I even mailed some. You know how much it costs to mail a heavy rock?
Absolutely.
But you know what? To me, it was all about kindness. It was all about what it would mean to somebody else. So I did that.
And it brought you joy, right? Which is where where the circle goes, because when you're, and I mean, the beauty is with you and Mick both, is that you have this way of taking what's in your hand. And this is another thing, like you see in me go, because I believe that we are all given something in our hand. And like for Mick, well, Mick's a rock star, like truly. Anyway, really, do you know how funny it was when we were sitting in the pool there? And it's like, yeah, I go on tour with Randy Bachman and I'm looking at Dave and I'm like, we've been to those concerts. We have seen him in concert. This is hilarious. But
I know, but you don't, like, very humble, like, and
Mick's so humble,
like talking about it, and I'm just I just kind of got that into the conversation
for him, right? And if he edits this part out, I'm coming to find him. So like this is part of the story, because like Dave and I went back to the room and we're like, we've actually, and then we started looking, like, you know, there's like the documentary CBC did, and like we totally were at that show. It was so funny. We just had such fun with you guys. It was a blast.
And then you went to a concert with me, didn't you?
We went for lunch at my favorite place, Henry's.
I know.
And like in Regina, which led to a concert in Saskatoon, and I feel like a midnight run through a closed mall that like, that was fun. Trying to find a parkade somewhere. Like,
I know.
What a nut night that was, hey? That was so fun.
So much
fun. Anyways, let's rein ourselves in a little. But I mean, that's just the thing, Kelly, is like every single one of us, and this is what I have learned, like, you know, you just have to show up for something. That's really all it takes. When I went to a new church like 15 years ago, I thought, well, I should probably contribute. And so they had this, we were collecting household goods for some refugees that were coming in. And I was like, well, I could do that and organize stuff. Had no freaking idea that the night a family landed, we didn't really know who was coming, that it would be a mother and father and 8 children from a 1-year-old to a 17-year-old who had come right out of a completely different environment, like all of our electronics and thing. And it was like, bam, that instant love in the airport. And it's like the rest of the group kind of faded back and they were ours. And man, we have walked roads, but it has been the joy and the pleasure and the trip of a lifetime. And, you know, had we never, all it took was like starting with sorting a few household goods and bam, you are there. And we have walked some pretty significant, serious roads, like transplants, cancer, like, you know, but that's just the thing. Like you don't have to have something, like you can't just sit there and think, well, I have nothing to offer, because every single person that walks the face of this earth has something to offer. Now I'm climbing off my soapbox and you can go on with your story, because I want to get to like,
I'd love to hear your story.
I get so wrecked about that, because I mean, how many years did we sit and think we have nothing to contribute? Like, well, so-and-so over there could do that, but I could never do that. Well, you know what? You were never meant to do that. That's not yours. But you got something in your hand that is yours that makes a huge difference in the world.
Well, you get into the routine of life. You get working and you work, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. It's just a routine, taking care of children. Your life becomes that way. And all of a sudden it's like, really, I mean, it's not like you're not you're not totally fulfilled. There's something inside of you, but this is where that breast cancer has been a blessing for me. honestly,
Yeah.
like, because
Yeah.
otherwise I'd still be working now. And,
Yeah.
I had worked at the hospital for almost 30 years. That's all I ever did is 30 years. And luckily, it's been great for me. I can retire in a couple of years and that's all
Mhm.
great. But really, was I 100% happy? No, I wasn't 100% happy going to work and sitting at a desk 5 days a week and, just reading medical charts. And I knew there was something else out there. Well, there's a big world out there. And everybody, you're right. When you said that, Joan, everybody's got that in them. It's just
sometimes I like to think of it as it takes the black ice moment. Like,
yeah.
I'm from Saskatchewan, and I don't know if you have that on the island, but like you can be driving along on a perfectly dry looking piece of pavement and snap, you hit black ice and your car can flip and roll and you are thrown in the ditch without any warning. And so, it's like, honestly, I feel, okay, it's confession time.
Well, we don't have black ice.
Well, I feel like a good portion of my life has been climbing out of the ditch. So maybe I just need to. I've been in the ditch half my life.
Truth comes out.
And sometimes I see the ice coming and I just choose to gun it. Like,
you have to move to Victoria.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but you have to bring your whole family.
Ocean. I know, and it's quite the transplant. But I think they'd be willing. But